Ladies and gentlemen, we're now switching to the next speaker of this morning's session, and that will be Ulrich Schuh, and he is the head of European and International Programs at the Austrian Research and Promotion Agency, FFG, and also chair of the Austrian Eureka Chairmanship running from mid-2020 until mid-21. Since the 1st of July, he's also part of the Eureka Association in Brussels, and currently is head of the Eureka Secretariat at Interim. So Mr. Schuh, I would be very happy to give you the floor, and we're really looking forward to your contribution.
Ladies and gentlemen, warm welcome also from my side, from the side of Eureka. It's for me a pleasure and an honor to be with you today, joining and contributing to this Efecs event. We have lived now through 12 months of coronavirus pandemic. For 4 years, we have experienced challenging relations with our friends across the Atlantic. And we know from 35 years of collaboration between Eureka, European Community and industry, that reliable partners and partnerships based on respect and trust are crucial. Safety for our health, for our economies, for our welfare. Therefore, and you know, with 47 Eureka countries from Canada to South Africa, from Korea to Argentina, and very soon Singapore, Eureka now is a truly global organization. I would like to address these global aspects in my keynote speech today, which is entitled Partnerships Beyond an European Horizon, Systems and Components. Ladies and gentlemen, we are facing transitions. A transition in US politics, a transition in the configuration of the European Union, a transition from the current multi-annual framework to the next, and even transitions within our Eureka network. And I will elaborate on this for a few minutes. Let me start. Sorry. Let me start with some words on partnerships. Partnerships are joint activities between and from partners at equal level to reach common goals, even in difficult times. Currently, the ECSEL successor, the KDT partnership, is under negotiation. Euro-HPC and, in Eureka's scope, the co-funded partnership of innovative SMEs, or put simply Eurostars, is in preparation. Dear Mr. Viola, we are facing similar issues: central financial management, Common Horizon Europe rules, ranking list, funding, Single Basic Act, model grant agreement respectively, to name just a few items. It's good to know that we have reliable partners in our countries and in the European Commission. And of course, it's reciprocal. Eureka remains a strong partner for you too. And it is also, of course, about budget. It is not necessarily new instruments like the EIC or interesting instruments like the EIT that need more money. It's especially our SMEs in Europe, because they guarantee innovation, future-proof competitiveness and welfare. Mr. State Secretary, European SMEs count on you. It is the role of the German Council presidency to steer the distribution of budget. We need additional means for the European innovative ecosystem, mainly for our SMEs. Our start Eureka countries are ready to invest some €1 billion in the next Eurostars, encouraging the same amount from industry. We only ask the European Commission for €300 million of support. That's only 15% of total investments. And I will not mention the ratio in tripartite partnerships here. 2 weeks ago, we learned that there will be additional budget available for Horizon Europe. An agreement between Council and Parliament was nearly reached. Let's presume that there will be additional 4 billion euro compared to the current plans of DG RTD. So European SMEs only need a very marginal fraction of this amount. I very much hope that there will be an agreement on the next MFF soon. Ladies and gentlemen, there are challenges larger than Horizon. There is climate change, pollution of our environment, deal, green hydrogen, and of course, unfortunately, the coronavirus. We need collaborative research at the global scale, and that's what EUREKA exactly is. EUREKA is the world's biggest network for R&D and innovation. EUREKA provides a stable legal framework for market-oriented research activities and fast and flexible processes. EUREKA is the structure that not only allows but enables both governments, public funding bodies and industry to address today's most pressing issues, top-down and bottom-up. For an example, already in April and May this year, our Canadian partners initiated 2 calls for projects addressing the COVID-19 pandemic. And a number of countries allocated substantial amounts of money to these calls, and also Germany was a very prominent partner. But EUREKA is not only about collaborative research at a global scale, it is also addressing topics of utmost importance for Europe's competitiveness. We are fully aware of our history, and that is microelectronics. We need digital autonomy for Europe, and we must protect our crown jewels. As you know, the role model for ongoing and upcoming partnerships in Horizon 2020 and Horizon Europe was the EUREKA program. JESSE, a predecessor of EUREKA clusters like PENTA, ITEA, or Celtic. EUREKA trained the Commission well. We continue to develop the EUREKA approach now. New programs will be launched, our global outreach will be extended, and new forms of cooperation will be introduced. This dynamism is reflected in the slogan of the Austrian Chairmanship, New EUREKA. It is also the title of our new strategic roadmap for the period 2021 to 2027. Members and stakeholders of the EUREKA network benefit from some unique characteristics in the organization of their cooperation. And these special elements are decentralized management, variable geometry, and the famous bottom-up principle. First, decentralized management. As a rule, EUREKA uses national funding agencies and national rules for implementing cooperative innovation projects. It uses and provides access to an existing, well-functioning infrastructure for supporting innovation, but on an international and global level. This allows us to use synergies with existing national funding programs and usually implies only marginal additional implementation costs. The way EUREKA members cooperate relies on a high degree of coordination in a flexible setting. Furthermore, this way of cooperation allows learning from different approaches and forms of organization. In this respect, the EUREKA approach differs fundamentally from one that relies on the principles of centralization and harmonization of rules. Second aspect, variable geometry. As a rule, cooperation within EUREKA requires a minimum of 2 different organizations coming from 2 different EUREKA countries. EUREKA is present in 47 countries worldwide, and beyond that, we are open for cooperation with nearly every country through our Global Stars program. But the critical mass to start a project cooperation is extremely low. This results in a high degree of flexibility and in the ability to easily experiment, test and establish new programs and services. Again, the way EUREKA deals with cooperation differs fundamentally from an approach that foresees programs and services that are comprehensive, deep, and wide in their inclusion of partners. And finally, and third, our bottom-up principle. As a rule, EUREKA programs and services support innovative projects in all thematic, non-military fields. This allows us to react fast and flexibly to new technologies and societal and economic challenges. Once more, EUREKA's tradition of cooperation fundamentally differs from an approach that focuses on specific topics or research areas in a strict top-down framework. What we see from this, that EUREKA and the European Commission instruments are complementary. Together, we are building an ecosystem that is crucial for European competitiveness. Dear Roberto Viola, EUREKA remains a trusted, strong and reliable partner, and we are very much looking forward to our future collaboration. EUREKA consists of three components. We will have new programs, most prominently the new EUREKA Clusters program. Second, we will be enlarging and deepening global cooperation with new countries joining and our Global Stars program as a strong instrument. And thirdly, by encouraging all stakeholders to increase their engagement with EUREKA and encouraging even closer cooperation and coordination. Austria has specifically a focus on the activities of countries with the Western Balkans. As I have only limited time, let me just pick a few elements of these components. Our EUREKA clusters have been organized around 7 independent communities and cluster offices. The new EUREKA cluster program will establish a highly coordinated cooperation among all existing cluster communities and will open also to new communities entering the EUREKA cluster program. A common multi-annual work plan will be developed, which will be implemented by an annual work program. We will organize synchronized thematic cores, bottom-up and top-down, in close collaboration with the public authorities and industry. As a pilot, we organized a joint core for projects on artificial intelligence across many of the technologies covered by the clusters, and this first synchronized core was a big success. Dear State Secretary Professor Lucas, shall we build on that? I'm looking forward for intensifying EUREKA activities in the field of artificial intelligence, and we already are in close contact with your colleagues. I do not know the Commission's approach for aligning activities between the upcoming 49 new partnerships in Horizon Europe's, amongst them and with individual member states' activities. But we will see. I think this is called Strategic Forum or Plan for DG RTD, as I see. So let me conclude. Dear State Secretary Lucas, I know EUREKA has been close to our hearts for some or all its 35 years. You already told me in a talk last week. Mr. Director General, there is an ongoing close relationship between EUREKA and ECSEL. And I also want to use this opportunity to thank Mr. Reinhard Ploss from Infineon for taking over much responsibility and leadership in the EUREKA Clusters office. Ladies and gentlemen, the history of EUREKA is microelectronics. It is the close partnership between governments, public funding bodies, industry, and the European Commission. Let's build on that and let's continue shaping together new EUREKA based on reliability and trust. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wish all the participants a stimulating and fruitful meeting. Thank you very much.
Much, Mr. Schuh, much appreciated. And indeed, then the history of Eureka is very much microelectronics. But as you just pointed out, it's definitely also the future, because you're developing the new EUREKA strategic roadmap 2021-2027. And as you have outlined, there will be ample of opportunities for the broader community to participate in the Eurostars program, in the Eureka Clusters program, but also the Global Stars program. And it's lovely to see with 47 countries that indeed you have a very global reach. So thanks once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I think what we have learned this morning at least is that on the European level, on the Eureka level, and on the national level, specifically Germany, people really warm-heartedly talk about the ECS community, and that you have your role to play to get out of this crisis. And that is something that we will deepen out during the discussion taking place after the break. So I'd like to ask you right now to just enjoy your coffee, to enjoy the exhibition areas, and to get in touch with people. And I'd like to ask you to be back sharply at 10:45 when we will start the panel discussion. So thank you so much already for this morning, and we'll see each other later.